She then went to SUNY Oneonta, and she graduated this past month, 3.5 years in, with a degree in philosophy. And so she worked a number of jobs over the course of her college experience. She had really solid grades. She was a member of the STEP team here, and that carried over into leadership roles at Oneonta. She was a STEP team captain there. She also is a first generation college student, and her story is that she does look back at her experience at Unity and the one-on-one support that was provided, the deep connection she had with adults, and like what we shared, which was ongoing. And so she had support from us not only through her schooling 612, but also beyond with our alumni success work. And so Eric got to see her graduate, and so here she is here with her family, and she's now moving into career here in New York City. So compelling story here, and I think getting the voices of our alumni. We had a couple of alums visits today because they're now out of school and on break, but that's real. And so I see using their voice and their stories to help build interest in our school too.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so I think with that, let's move into just where we are with regard to graduation. That is a key metric at the school. And maybe this is a bit of a hard transition. I do want to be aware of time tonight. Um, we had really solid committee meetings last week and the week before. And so those are highlighted in the slides you have for tonight. So feel free to sift through those. We'll bring some of this back to our January meeting. Essentially, we have school through Friday or on break for a week and a half, and then we get about 2.5 weeks of school before we come back and have additional um, strategy meetings at the committee level as well as a full board meeting. So some things will go on, but some of this will be brought back to this board in January too because of time tonight. So let's jump in. I want to hand things over to Melissa and have her just share out where things are. We typically give an update in December about our future graduating class, in this case, the class 2025, just to get a sense of where things are with regard to individual kids and their path. Some very easy because they've done really tremendous work over 4 years. In some cases, more support's needed to help them work through things and have them graduate in 4 years. And so, Melissa, let me hand things off to you and provide an update on where we are as of December.
Great, thank you, Josh. Here is where we are right now. You can see in our chart on the right, we hope each year for 100% graduation rate. This year, 71% of our students are already on track to graduate on time. Of course, there are their senior year responsibilities, but we're seeing good things from them. We have about 18% of our kiddos on watch and about 8% of our kiddos who are off track right now and need a very individualized plan. That's 5 kids. And then we do have 2 students who cannot graduate in 2 years. One of them is truant and not attending for the last 2 years. The other student has a very hard path. It is possible, but we are not on track now. So, looking at this as compared to last year, I know some folks are newer here and some folks saw where we were our last year. Regents exams are more consequential than they have been since we've been graduating students. So since this time in 2020, when we would have had sort of a similar story, we've had a variety of waivers, special appeals, etc. This class is beginning to wean off of them, though they do have the benefit of some. Uh, but still, we do have 3 fewer students right now who cannot graduate in 4 years versus this time last year. For the students in yellow and orange and the one student who's attending in red, we have a number of interventions in play right now. For our Regents deficient students, they're getting tutoring in preparation for their January Regents. We in groups as small as 1, and we're going to reassess intervention ahead of the exam. One student in particular I'm most worried about is an English language learner, and we're considering what our best supports for her is. There are also a number of students who are going to pursue a CDOS. This is a career credit that can serve as their 5th Regents, and either will be taking an employability assessment that might be similar to what a job force program might give, or doing a portfolio. And this will create a pathway for some of those students in yellow and orange. For our credit deficient students, when and whenever possible, we have enrolled them in their senior year, even if they're taking an atypical or complex schedule, to take the credits that they need. There are a number of students, those in the off-track bucket, who have some courses that they're taking outside of their regular schedule, generally alongside an academic counselor, and they're taking those online. These kiddos are all meeting with their counselors with regularity, and I have started a cohort meeting with our college counselor, our senior counselor, seniors counselor, and then I'm rolling that back up to our school leadership team so that we're looking at these individualized plans on a biweekly basis. We're going to be reconvening right when we get back on January 2nd to make sure that we're in good standing to support students ahead of this month, that we've missed no things and that kids are in good shape. So right now, my 4-year forecasted graduation for 2025 is between 89 and 97. I think that we're going to be a little bit closer to that, if I had to guess right now, 95% mark.
And so thank you for this, Melissa. And so there's the work of thinking about our metrics and goals for the year. And then within this data, I mean, each of these points are kids and their experiences and their stories. And so there's some complex stories here as we think about how we best position ourselves to support kids and obtaining their degree. And so I think what this shows is that we're thinking about this um, very in a very sophisticated way and in an intimate way, as we know our kids is a small school and can provide that level of support they need over the course of the coming months based on what we've done already. So thank you for that, Melissa. We'll provide another update in February, March. Are there any questions here about the data as it stands now?
Um, I don't have a question about the data. It seems pretty clear to me. I am thinking ahead though, in terms of the ways that like graduation pathways are expanding for school year 27, 28. So I just had some I wanted to know what the ideas are right now.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to hear
That's
about
the
these,
right question.
Misha, in
Melissa, we go on for
specific.
hours here.
Wow, you're not even a plant, but we're going to need you. We've paid close attention to the way that the state of New York is setting us up for this. And I think that our authorizers as well would agree, from what I've heard from the folks who've talked to them, that it's still a bit ephemeral, but we know some shifts are happening. And the recommendations we've heard in the short term are few but concrete. One of them is to introduce some of the seals that exist that will represent those pathways, and where we are currently envisioning going for next year is to pursue the ability to offer the civic readiness seal. So we'll need some help bolstering our history program to make sure that our kiddos are on the way for that. It suits our mission. It suits the work we've done with roundtables. So that's the first step for us, as well as engaging in um, a little bit more development of our team around project-based learning and what that looks like at a strong level. That means that, we have our roundtables. That's a strong example. Those are concentrated a little bit more at our middle school level. So envisioning bringing that up to high school and getting really good at that. I think sometimes we focus really strongly, and at our middle school, you can see the growth there and what that's done for us on some of our test prep, but thinking about other ways that we're assessing students. And the third thing is bolstering our AP program in a way that we're offering power courses and courses like AP Seminar, which we offered in the past, but would like to expand and offer again. That looks a little bit like some of the more concrete examples the state has provided. So we know that this version of graduation forecasting and planning on an individual level for kids has worked for us for the past 6 years, Josh. How long have we been graduating kids? No, 5 years.
Mhm.
And we'll continue in this manner for 3 years, 2 to 3 more years, but we know that we will have to make some alterations, both programmatically and the way we're counseling kids.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So in the interest of time, we're going to move right to the approval items for tonight, which are just the minutes. And so I'll hand things over to Jim here to formally call for approval.
Okay, so the only item up is the minutes from last meeting. Has everybody had a chance to look at that? And so are there any questions, comments, edits? Okay, seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes? Show of hands. Thank you. Okay,
Right, so minutes are approved. As we begin to close out the meeting, we're making room for public comment. I don't believe there's anyone from the public tonight. And so with that, we move into the next board meeting, which is going to be on the 22nd of January. It's virtual, 6 p.m. meeting. Topics of potential focus are listed 1 through 7 here. Some of the same things we've been discussing throughout, a couple of new items here. And so look forward to that meeting. And I think we sort of transitioned hard because of timing tonight, but we'll make some time during the next meeting to maybe debrief on what was shared today. And if other folks want to debrief offline, I like talking about this stuff and getting better at it. So happy to do so. And with that, thank you for making time tonight. Appreciate you all and wish you a really warm and festive holiday.
yeah,
Thanks.
and thank Ken again. That was really interesting and helpful.
Yeah, he's fun.